Hello everyone, I hope that all is well. I just want to take this opportunity once again just to go through some of the calculations and questions, just to clarify some of the things. Remember, sometimes we do forget the basics. Like I said before, let's make sure that we go through the basics. Before we commence or we continue with this session, may I kindly ask you guys to at least subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, so that I can make more content, so that I can grow the channel. Even likes, please just like. I can see that I've got almost, I'm telling you, I've got a lot of people who are using this platform, but 90% of them are not subscribed. Please just subscribe. I don't think maybe you've got nothing to lose. I think you've got something to gain. Please, I kindly ask, please subscribe. Please like the videos. Okay, thank you so much, and please share the videos if possible. So without wasting time, let's just go through this question and make sure that we understand what is going on here. Here we've got the client by the name of Malope. As you can see here, we've got the client by the name of Malope here. Malope, our client, let me just put it like this, recently instructed us to collect 6,500 from Mavesti. So Mavesti is the person from whom we are going to collect the cash. Okay, so Malope, our client, paid us an advance of how much? 1,300 in cash. I think you know by now, if the client gives you money in advance, if the client gives you money before you perform any other activities, if the client gives you money, that money belongs to the client. So automatically you must make sure that you separate that money from the business money. So therefore, this amount of 1,300 will be part of the trust books. So it means the bank account of the trust will be affected. Why do I say bank account? Because this is a cash. You see, cash will always go to the bank. So it means I need to make sure that I go and record this 1,300 because I received from the client. So it means I need to go to my books. As you can see, I've got the trust books and the business books. But remember from our past experience, we know that the bank account is an asset. So it means assets increase on the debit side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come here on the debit side and say Malope Trust. Now, in brackets, let me just do this. In brackets, I'm just gonna say a deposit or advance, doesn't matter. Advance is like a deposit at the end of the day, okay? Just for control. Can you see now? So, and then I'm just gonna say folio. Don't have to worry. That's how I put it. So I'll write just cash receipts. You see now? And then I'll say I'm going to receive 1,300. You see now? So the trust bank account has been increased. Okay. But remember, the reason why I prefer to write Malope Trust is because I will know where to go from here. Again, I need to go to Malope Trust, and on the opposite side, which is the credit side, remember here I take it from the debit. I'm going to go to the credit side here, and I'm just going to write trust. You see now, even here I can just write what? Advance. Now, trust. Cash receipts. How much? 1,300. Easy like that. Can you see now? This is very easy, guys. Okay. Remember the double entry system from debit to credit. Okay. Now let's go back to the question. Now, as a result of this instruction from our client Malope, we paid tracing fees of how much? Of 325. Meaning we tried to locate Malope, so we had to charge the fee. Can you see now? So those fees at the end of the day, remember, no, we paid. We're not charging. We paid those fees. So when we pay, obviously, remember we have already in the trust books account. Can you see now? So we need to go and pay how much? 325. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back and make sure that I take 325 out of that money. Can you see now? I'm just gonna say, remember this money belongs to what? To Malope. So I'm gonna say Malope trust. In brackets, I can just write tracing fees. You see now, just for control, trust cash payment. And how much must I take? 325. Can you see? It means the amount that I received has been reduced by how much? 325. That's why I came to this side. Can you see now? Remember, this side is where I decrease, and this side is where I increase. But remember, I must also go and show I must also show in the books, in the Malope's trust, to show that Malope, you don't have this 1,300 anymore. You have got less. Again, I must transfer this amount. Remember the double entry system? I'm going to come here and say trusts in brackets, just for control. I'll just say tracing fees. You see now? And you write trusts cash payments, and then how much is 325? Can you see now? This balance. Can you see now? You must always do that. So make sure that you always make sure that you do the right thing. Okay. So hopefully, guys, everything is making sense. Okay. Again, please, I remind you, don't forget to subscribe. Okay. Just subscribe, guys, and you're helping to grow the channel. So that is the 325. Okay. So let's go back to the question now. We therefore, remember we just dealt with this one. So we therefore charge someone's fees. In other words, in the process, we had to charge 390. Remember, if we charge the client, it means this money belongs to us. So when I charge the client, it means the client owes me. So a client, remember, is my debtor. So I must go and make sure that I charge 390. But remember here, I said no to make provision for VAT. In other words, it means we are VAT vendors. So the fees which you're going to charge need to be inclusive of VAT, because SARS will need to have that particular VAT. And remember, the VAT that we charge SARS, we normally call it VAT output. So I need to make sure that I go charge the fee. Remember, I can only charge the fee under the business. Why? Because the fee belongs to us as a business. So I'm going to go to the business. You see here, I've got Malope already here. I need to charge the fee. Remember, Malope is a business, it's a debtor. So remember, debtors are assets, they increase on the debit side. So what I need to do here, I need to come here and say fees. Remember, the VAT vendor, I'm going to say output VAT. You see now? VAT output. You see now? So again, remember this amount must be inclusive of VAT. So it means I need to make sure that I include VAT. This is another way of calculating VAT. You see now, I need to say 390, as you can see here. 390 times 1.15. Can you see now? And remember, we use a fee journal. Remember, you don't have to put the journals now, but I just like putting everything, like, that's how I like things to be done. And so I'm going to say 390 times 1.15. Remember, this amount is inclusive of what? Of VAT. In other words, the amount that I'm going to charge the debtor is going to be the fees plus VAT output. And how much is it? It's 449. Can you see now? But remember, the fact that I wrote fees and VAT output, it means I must also go and transfer to the fees, and I must also transfer to the VAT account. So in other words, this amount is going to be divided into two. We know already that fees are only 390. So the difference between 390 and 449 will be our VAT output. But again, can you see here, I recorded on the debit side. It means wherever I go, whether I go to the fees or VAT output, I must go to the opposite side. So I'm going to go to the fees on the opposite side. Can you see now? And I'm going to say Malope. I took the information from Malope. Can you see now? I'm going to put it like that. And then remember the fees, FJ. And then remember the amount of the fees is only 90. It needs to exclude VAT. Can you see? The fees must always exclude VAT at the end of the list. That's why I put it like that. At the same time, I must not forget VAT output. The same thing must be done under VAT output. I'll come here and say Malope, and then I'm going to say fee journal. Can you see now? But remember now, I only need the VAT. So the VAT will be the difference between 449 and 390. Or you can just say 390. 390 times 15 over 100. Okay. 390 times 15 over 100. How much is 59? I'm just going to convert it to the nearest rands. Yes, just going to put it as no decimals. Okay, can you see this is the amount? So it's up to you. You should have said maybe 449. Remember 449 minus 390. That is what you should have done. So you can choose whatever method you want to choose. Can you see now? That was just the fees and the VAT. Can you see now? Let's go back to the question. Now, Mavesti paid an amount of 2,600. So remember, Mavesti is the person from whom we are going to collect money from. We have been instructed to go and collect. So Mavesti paid us 2,600. And consequently, we charged a collection fee of how much? Of 200. So firstly, we need to deal with this amount of 2,600 and receive from what? From Mavesti. Remember, this amount belongs to what? To Silver, not to Silver, so Malope. It belongs to Malope, so it means we must show that we put this amount and show that Malope deserves this amount of money, which is 2,600. So I'm gonna trust. Remember Malope trust. But firstly, remember we need to receive the money into the bank. So we need to go to the bank and receive the money. So I'm gonna come here and say Malope trust, but in brackets, just for control, I'm just gonna write where did I receive this money from? From Mavesti. Can you see? So remember Mavesti, and thereafter obviously is the trust cash receipt. Can you see? I received 2,600. Can you see now? This amount, remember, it comes from the client. Any client's money must come here. But at the same time, I must go to Malope Trust to show that this money belongs to Malope. Remember here, I'm from the debit side. It means I'm going to go to the credit side and show that I received money. Listen now. From Malope. So I'm just going to write Mavesti. Listen now, Mavesti. Mavesti. Mavesta. Sylvester. I think you understand what I'm trying to say here. And I'm going to say trust cash receipt, and I received how much? 2,600. Can you see now? Because this money belongs to the client. Can you see now? This money belongs to client. So I hope everything makes sense now. But if we can go back to the question, at the same time, we charged a collection fee. Remember, we are charging our client how much? 200. So this 200 now, remember, the minute we charge the fee, as usual, we need to make sure that charge the fee, and then we go to the business bank business book. Go to the business books the same way we charge the other fee, and let's go and charge. Now I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna say fees. Can you see now? But now remember we're charging what? 200. I'm gonna say 200. See, and then FJ. See, now let's see how much will be the amount including VAT. Okay, so it's gonna be 230. Can you see? Again, it's inclusive of what? Of VAT. Now it's time for us to go and transfer to the fees and transfer to VAT. The same procedure. Remember, we came from Malope. Listen now. And then we say FJ. But remember here, we only need amount excluding VAT, the fees only. At the same time, we must go to VAT, do the same thing. Listen now. And then remember, the VAT will be how much? The difference between 200 and 230. Obviously, it's going to be 30. But you can just say 200 times 15 over 100. I think you will get 30. You see now, it's up to you. So can you see, this is very much important, especially if you understand. Always remember to apply the double entry system. When I record here, wherever I'm going to go, I need to go to the opposite side. Okay. Now, let's go back to the question. Remember, here again, remember we accounted for VAT, and thereafter what is left is going to be us to be able to make any necessary transfers. And thereafter, after making necessary transfers, we need to account to the client. Remember, the amount of money remaining in the client's account need to be given to the client because that money belongs to the client. But the first step is for us to go and make sure that we check any necessary transfers. So if you can check here, the total of the client here. Let's see, what is the total? The client here, the total of the business is how much? Is 679. Can you see now? So now we need to check because the transfer, remember, must be made from between Malobe Business and Malobe Trust. So we need to check if we can be able to transfer this amount of money, which is how much? Which is 679. But I need to first check the availability of the funds in the client trust account. But as you can see, the client has got 1,300 plus 2,600 minus 325. So it's more than enough. So it means I can go and transfer this amount. That's how I transfer. And I can just come here and say Malobe Trust. See, I say Malobe Trust. I'm going to just say in brackets, just for control, I'm going to just say a transfer so that if someone comes and review my books, can understand what I'm talking about. Transfer journal, transfer journal, and then how much must I transfer? I can transfer the whole because I did check whether there's available amount of money in the business. Can you see in the trust? Can you see there was available amount of money? So at the same time, because I set Malobe Trust, I must also transfer on the opposite side from credit to debit. I'm going to go to the opposite side and say Malobe Business. Can you see now? I'm going to say it's a transfer Malobe Business. See, in brackets, I'm just going to say transfer, just for control. Can you see now? It helps a lot. I like putting everything in detail because when I transfer, my transfers are going to be very, very, very easy. Transfer journal. See, and how much did I transfer? 679, if you can check. See, so this is the transfer that I was talking about. So we need to make sure that we know how to deal with these transfers. Can you see now? And remember, the transfer doesn't end here. From here, where do we go? We need to make sure that we also do the transfer under what? Under the trust cash book. So again, we're going to take this money, which is the transfer there. I'm going to say the business bank in brackets. I'm just going to say transfer so that everything can make sense. Can you see? Things need to make sense. See, and then I'm going to transfer how much? 679, and then I must remember I said business bank account. I must also transfer on the opposite side, which is here. I'm going to say trust bank. Okay. So like I said, you don't have to worry about these folios now. And then 679. So as long as you can be able to do the transfer. No, this one must not be trust. This is the business cash receipt. Sorry, this is the business. Yeah, it's okay like that. I think it's okay like that. I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, so as long as it makes sense, guys, make sure that you follow. That is what does the transfer. You see now. So after doing the whole transfer, we need to go back and check here in this book. Can you see in this Malope Trust, we need to balance and check if there's anything left so that we can account to our client. So we need to check. Let me just add. Let's see if I add total here, and then I put, okay, the biggest side. Remember, the biggest side must appear both sides. That's how the balance account. The difference will be here. Let's see the difference. I'm gonna pay the client, so I'm gonna say trust bank, but in brackets I'm just gonna write accounts. We're accounting to the client. Can you see now? So trust cash payment, and the difference is equals 3,900 minus 325 minus 679. You see now, meaning this is the one that I accounted for. So I'm gonna pay the client. Remember, the remaining amount is 28960. I'm gonna pay the client 28960. Can you see now? Obviously, because I said trust bank account, I must also come here and say my trust, but I'm just gonna write account. Can you see? Because the remainder must be given to the, can you see now, trust. See? And then how much is it? It's 2896. Okay. So this is what I've accounted for. Can you see now? And thereafter, I just have to balance the account. Let's see, this side is the sum. I'm just balancing it. Total here is 3,900 and equals sum. Total here. And now it balances here because all the money that was remaining has been given to what? To the client. And even the client's book here is closed. Can you see now? And thereafter, when we check here, we've got money in the bank here. It's transfer 679, and here we have can you see now? Everything has been transferred, and the VAT here obviously we can just add. Doesn't matter. We can just add and say sum. Just two. Let's see, 590. Remember, this one obviously the fee will affect the income statement of the business when the business wants to check their financial performance, whether they made profit or loss during the year. So fee is going to be part of the income statement or the statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. So this is an income. And then VAT obviously is the VAT output. Okay, let's write VAT output here. So the VAT output obviously will be a liability in the books of accounts. So it means this one will, let me just add that. Don't have to. The VAT again will be part of the liabilities. To be specific, it's going to be part of the current liabilities. So if you want to determine the financial position of the business, obviously VAT is going to be part of the liabilities. Can you see now? And then it's going to be under the liabilities part. Can you see now? Because they can ask you to calculate the financial position of the business. So if they ask you to do that, meaning VAT will decrease those liabilities, the assets. So this is how the exercise looks like, guys. So hopefully everything makes sense. Okay, just I just thought because it's a Saturday, I said, okay, I've got time, man. Let me go and give them the content. You know that a man of my caliber always tries to share. So please, man, just subscribe and the channel. Okay, thank you so much, guys, and I hope everyone understands. And then have a good one, have a good weekend, and then enjoy.